Hey everyone, Raider here. Hope you're all having a great day. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Neewer RGB62. This is a new light from Neewer that features app control. So this is the successor to its predecessor, the RGB61. Let's go ahead and take a walk around this device here. And for my regular Samsung viewers, we'll be right back to Samsung content in the next video. This is not a sponsored video or anything. I actually use this on my YouTube channel. I bought it with my own money. It costs about 35 to 40 bucks depending on where you get it from. I'll go ahead and drop an Amazon link down in the description. I have no affiliation with it, just putting it there so you can look at the product page. So before we take a look at this light, let's take a look at what comes in the box. So here's the contents of the box. You get a USB-A to USB-C cord for charging it. And that's about it, other than a few little instruction manuals. One's for the app, one's for the device itself, and then some caution packet, whatever. So not too much in the box, but what do you expect for like 40 bucks, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the light itself. So we have a cold hot shoe mount on the bottom. It does have the nice fastener, it lets you tighten it down. We have 3 additional cold shoe mounts on each side, one on each side. And then the controls are on the back. We'll go over these controls in just a second. And then we're also going to go over the apps. So that's where this light really shines, because the controls are kind of slow, but the app really speeds things up, and you get a lot more functionality within the application. All right, let's go over the menu controls on this little light here. So over here on the left, you have the power button. You press and hold it 3 seconds to turn it on. Press and hold it again for 3 seconds to turn it off. These middle 2 buttons are like your control buttons to go up and down in values for your brightness, for your Kelvin, etc., etc. And then this 4th button over here is your mode button, which kind of switches between the different modes once you're in them. You'll see what I mean here. And this power button will cycle through these 3 settings. So right now, the arrow is pointed up at the 1% brightness. I should go over those too. So you have the mode in the top left. Your arrow designates which mode or which section you're in. Like if I press the power button here, you'll see the arrow keys switch over to the bottom, and then it's over on the G for gamma. And then it goes back up to the top for the brightness. Next to it is a flashing Bluetooth icon. When you connect up to the app, that stops flashing. And then you got the battery level. I think this is good for like 3 or 4 hours. I don't know, it's on the product page. I'll let you check it out. Seems to last for a really long time. And then on the bottom in this mode, we have the Kelvins that we're at. So I'm at 4,700 right now. And then you have some like gamma or whatever control. It kind of like brings the tungsten or the daylight up and down a little bit. It's like a finite control for this Kelvin control right here. So what we can do here is we'll go ahead and we can take the brightness all the way down to 0%. You have 1% increments. If you press each time, it'll go up 1. You can also press and hold. It takes a little bit to activate. Let's go ahead and crank this all the way up. I do have the diffuser on right now. I recommend using the diffuser on this light. The light's a little harsh without it. There's maximum brightness. Takes a long time to get all the way to the top and the bottom of like the brightness levels in the Kelvin. That's where the app really comes in handy here in a little bit. We'll take a look at it. So you can see how these controls are working. Let's go through a couple of the other modes here. Change the Kelvin here. Let's bring this to like a real tungsten look. We'll bring it all the way down. All right, should be getting like more orange, cool. It's all the way down. Let's bring it all the way up so you can see what that looks like. I'll get my finger out of view there. All right, so we're getting there. That's the maximum value for daylight. And then there's this little gamma control. So if we press and hold this, it makes a little bit of a difference going up there. And I'll go back down and hold it. Let's see there. All right, goes quite a ways. Cool, cool. So it's 50 there. We'll go back up and I'm gonna reset it. All right, so we're at just 10% here. So let's go ahead and cycle through a couple of the modes so you can see what those look like. So we're going to press this rightmost button here to switch between those modes. All right, so now we're in HSI mode. We have our brightness again. The left button will switch between them. And here we can switch like the values here. Let's do that real quick. Just wait a little bit. You'll see the colors start to change. All right, it's cycling through the colors, right? Cool. And then if we press this power button on the left one more time, that takes us to our saturation. So right now it's at 100%, which means you're getting the full HSIQ. If we lower this down, it's going to start blending in the CCT, or basically our white, our daylight. So watch this as we lower it. Kind of nice for getting different effects, you know, if you want just a little bit of that RGB look. All right, we press this button again. We're going to go into all the like funky modes that it has. I think there's like 17 of them. So here's lightning. I'll just cycle through them and let you guys take a look. So this one we have like paparazzi, bulb, explosion, welding. We'll just go through these real quick. See, there's all these different modes. Can't really make any adjustments other than the brightness. We'll just cycle through them real quick. There's a candle. All right, a lamp, different lamps, or loops, I should say. Loop, I wasn't looking at the screen. All right, some other modes. You have some that'll like cycle through the RGB lights, I should say. Party mode. So I think we're almost all the way through them. Let's keep going here. You know, some different modes for different things. Let me get that recentered there. Hopefully it's in focus. I think we've been through them pretty much all now. All right, cool, cool. So here's all the modes, you know, and you have your brightness, again, up to 0 to 100. I use this primarily as a fill light and for some product photography. I think it does a really good job for that, you know, put it right on your camera, get a nice close-up on some products, devices, whatever you're doing. This little light is great for that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the app real quick because it's awesome. All right, so we got the Neewer app all fired up. It's super simple. So right off the bat, it'll ask you to like search for a new device, and as long as you have Bluetooth on your device and the Neewer light here, it just picks it up automatically and adds it to your device list. So let's go ahead and tap on this. I'm running this on the Samsung S23 Ultra. Here it goes. It gives you quick access to your modes. So you see here we're like in the default CCT mode. So here we are. We can adjust the brightness, the color temperature, and the GM. I don't know if that's gamma, whatever it is, but here we go. We can crank this brightness way up. Takes a little bit to take effect, not too long though. It's at max brightness. We can take all the way down. See how quick we can get to max brightness like that? That is awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank it down. We can adjust the color temperature. You know, you have full control right here from the app. We can adjust this other one. You can make the changes a lot quicker. But here's a sweet thing that's really awesome. If I hit this little down arrow here, we get access to all these different modes here, right? So we can just start cycling through them. Like right here is a light source one, and we can choose between different light sources that we want to kind of replicate. The next one here is source match. And what you do is you hold this up to another light, and then it's going to give you the Kelvin readout, you know, the tungsten or daylight value, and then you can set it. So basically that'll let you match this light up to any other lights that you have. All right, so let's go ahead and try this out real quick. Let me pull in a little light source. It might blind you a little bit, but we're going to put it right underneath the S23 here so it doesn't blind you so much. All right, we're going to let it do its thing here, and we're going to tell it to copy it. Boom, look at that. Let's put these side by side. You look at that light temperature. That's a pretty close match. That's pretty awesome, so you can match up to other lights that you have. Then you have a bunch of other options here too. Let's just go ahead and go through them real quick, like this CDB one here. Let's go ahead and tap on that. All right, we can adjust the brightness. We have our HSI. Cool, so we have our color wheel here for quickly adjusting the colors. That's pretty sweet. And we can pick like our default base color to start with. Next we have RGB. Cool, so we can pick our red, green, and blue values individually. This is great for those of you that work with images like Photoshop and stuff where you're working with specific values and you want to match up something to an image for a shot. You know, if you're doing any type of color matching and stuff like that, you can get very specific here. Next up we have picker. Very similar to the color match one, except this one gives us hue and saturation. So if I pick this up and point it to the light itself, right, we got a little bit of pink going on and stuff. It's going to show us that exact hue and that exact saturation, and we can go ahead and match it. So if you're like matching this up to another RGB light, something that has all the crazy colors, it'll match up with those crazy colors instead of just the daylight lights. That's flipping awesome. Next up, we can control our effects. All right, cool. We can pick between our different effects modes. Looks like we have a lot more adjustments available to us too for each one of these effects. That's awesome. Let's go back here and try them out. Sweet. So you have different values that you can set for your effects. Let me get that in view a little bit better. Wow, you get a ton more in the app. That's nuts. And our last one here is effects music. So this one seems like it's pretty cool. I haven't played around with it much. It looks like it'll make the light match to the sounds that you have going on. Like we can start hitting play here and it's picking up my voice. You see the lights turning on when I'm talking. Then it stops and now it starts, stops. So if you have some music going, you can have your light kind of rock out to the music. So a lot of cool features that are built into this app that you're not going to find on the back of the light itself. That right there, I think, makes it worth the upgrade over like the RGB61. That's a predecessor. Oh, one more thing too. This does have magnets. Here, let me show a little side clip of it magnetized to my desktop. They work pretty good. They're not that strong or anything. But yeah, this thing's pretty sweet. I like this light a lot. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to show how to take the diffuser on and off. All you do is just kind of grab it on the side here where those clips are. It'll come right off. There's what the lights look like without the diffuser on. Gets a little bit brighter. Not a huge difference, but it does make a difference in case you want to run it without it. And then it just kind of snaps back in place. No big deal. So my final impressions. I really like this light. It's totally worth it. You know, 35, 40 bucks. It helps out a lot. I think it's great with product photography. And I really like the app control. That helps out a lot. You know, all the different options that it has. Easy recommendation from me, for sure. Neewer, another great product from you. If you have any questions or comments, please drop them down in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.